So, I really, really, really like... I really like that Matt and I have been doing these YouTube videos, especially because they turn into such a dialogue. Hi, Raptor! I see you. The Silent Hill 2 video did really well, but I consider it doing well because it's got like almost 200 comments, and almost all of them are really great. There are people who are asking questions, people who are giving their own input and interpretations. It's a discussion about Silent Hill 2, and I love that. Even people that like are disagreeing with the points I make or the interpretations I have, like getting people just like talking about this and sharing their own ideas is so cool. It's so good. There's two things though that I need to point out. One of which, a lot of the comments seem confused as to whether I'm a boy or a girl. And that's cool. And the other comment that we get a little bit of is that like the other comment that we get a little bit is people who are saying that one of my points is wrong or adding information because of something that Masahiro Ito said on Twitter. And I just want to be clear. I don't give a fuck what Masahiro Ito thinks Silent Hill is about. I don't care. He seems like a really nice guy. But yeah, I really, if he's giving information on Twitter that was supposed to be in the game, it would be in the goddamn game. Okay? If Team Silent wanted the information that was in the Silent Hill complete guide Q&A session, or the Silent Hill 3 Book of Lost Memories, or the Masahiro Ito's Silent Hill comics, if that information was supposed to be in the games, it would be in the damn games. So yeah, the person whose authorial vision I would take a little more seriously about Silent Hill 2 is Takayoshi Sato, who did the character designs, he did the CG cutscenes, and he co-wrote the game. And it seems like it was a pretty personal project for him. I think that's the person that would have the most insight as to what that game is doing. But that really changes between games. It really changes from game to game. Like Masahiro Ito didn't work on monster designs for Silent Hill 1. He just worked on background art, and then he became a monster designer for 2 and 3 and 4. Like there's a lot of people who worked on these games in a lot of different roles, and they moved around a bunch. One of the people who probably has the strongest voice... Ah, Kite! Hello, Raiders. How's it going tonight? It's good to see you. We're just having a chat about Silent Hill 3. It's like one of my favorite games, and I love it. I think one of the people with the most voice in the Silent Hill games is Hiroyuki Owaku, who's the scenario writer for I think 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like they're the co-writer on more Silent Hill games than I think anybody else. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying that Masahiro Ito can't talk about the story of these games. I'm just saying that I don't care.
Zethio95 is a tier 1 sub to Kite512. They have given 6 gift subs in the channel.
Zethil, thank you so much for the gift sub. Kite, welcome to the Court of Hearts, Your Majesty. Yeah. Take his opinion with a grain of salt. Another thing that a couple people were asking is, what is the best way to play these games? Currently, Silent Hill 1, I think, runs best on DuckStation. So emulate yourself a copy on DuckStation. It's got a pretty decent CRT filter you can add to it, which I think I kind of recommend. That's a pretty good way to do it. Yeah, if you can't get an original console, because probably the best way to experience it is in a dark room on a CRT on a PlayStation, but, you know, not everybody has access to that. Yeah. How about the official HD collection? No, never. Never.
The best way is by aggressively backseating a femboy bun on the internet during National Fuck a Femboy Day.
Yeah, that's probably it. Sure, why not? As for Silent Hill 2, there's a really good fan patch called Silent Hill 2 Enhanced. You can download the PC version from completely legitimate means that you can Google search. And then download the Silent Hill 2 Enhanced patch. And it makes that game great. Super good. I do recommend setting the cutscenes to 4:3. You can watch them pillar boxed in the intended aspect ratio. I do recommend that because there's a couple of things out of frame that wind up showing up on camera if it's not right. As for Silent Hill 3, same problem. There's a PC port, but it was released in like 2004, and it's rough to get running these days. There is someone named Steam006 who put out a fan patch for it called Silent Hill 3 PC Fix, which is pretty good. It makes the game run a lot better. Couple of things you're gonna need to do though. Show you some things you're gonna maybe need to do with this. Okay, all right. So if you're gonna play this game, one thing you're gonna want to do is go into your folder. You're gonna want to go to save data, and you're gonna go to key any, right? Because the game recognizes the shoulder buttons on a controller, like R2 and L2. But it doesn't recognize it in the button config menu. So you got to go to ready and search view, and you want to set these to button 6 and button 7. That's the thing you want to do. And the other thing you want to do is go to Silent Hill 2 PC fix. And you're probably going to want... Okay, remove borders in cutscenes. You're going to want to turn this off if you're playing it in 4x3. Or... there is a FOV setting. Here we go. So the FOV in this is kind of borked. You probably want both of these on, but you also want cutscenes play in full screen. Where is it? You want 4x3 FMVs, but you want... I can't find it. Okay. If you start messing with the resolution width and height, the game starts messing up. So probably keep those normal. But you definitely want to set cutscenes to display in full screen, which is off by default. You can search. Oh, yeah. Here we go. FMVs will be displayed in full screen. You want to turn this one on. Because what happens is, in Silent Hill 3's original release, the game is 4x3, but the cutscenes are letterboxed, so they have the big black bars on the top and bottom. If you remove the black bars and have it in widescreen, your screen is now showing part of the game to the left and right and top and bottom that you're not supposed to be able to see in the cutscene. So if you set this to full screen, it instead zooms in the camera into the letterboxed area. So you've got the top and bottom of the screen at roughly where they're supposed to be. And you wind up seeing the full picture without seeing a bunch of extra stuff. The part where this is really useful is like in Heather's apartment, there's a cutscene where Harry Mason's corpse has its face hidden by the letterboxing. And you're not supposed to be able to, you don't want to see that. You're not supposed to see that. And this fixes it. Stuff like the HD collection just removed the letterboxing. And so it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. I do really like that one of the fixes in this patch is it'll replace instances of Hope House with Wish House, which is funny now, but funnier in Silent Hill 4. I don't know which one. I don't know which one I prefer. Hope House, Wish House, they're the same thing. It's called Hope House in Silent Hill 3. It's called Wish House in Silent Hill 4. They are the same house. It's just translated differently. Anyway, those are my recommendations for Silent Hill 3. I also recommend getting a hex editor, because there's a couple of fixes for like resolutions and stuff, but like, ugh. Oh, it's so annoying. Ugh. Game's hard to get running. I think I got it working though. I think I did it. Because there actually is an orphanage called Hope House. Interesting. Man, I love Voltiel just cranking it. Cranking it. Respectfully. I love Mary Elizabeth McGlynn's vocals. This is my favorite Silent Hill vocal track. Absolutely, yes. It's such a banger. This song was made for this game. Mary Elizabeth McGlynn did the vocals for tracks in Silent Hill, I think Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3. She did one of the ending themes for 1, didn't she? Pretty much Akira's go-to vocalist. Yeah. Ah, yeah. Good opening theme. So good. What a bop. Gosh, this game is good. Am I in time? You are. You're right on time. Let me affect the volume slightly. Is this game new or extra new? So, what is extra new? That's New Game Plus. So, let's talk real quick about Silent Hill 3. And where this game came from. Because it's actually super interesting. And it's a little bit similar to Metal Gear Solid 2. In some ways. So, where do I start? Let me see. Good ass music. Thing that's lost with the new Silent Hill games? I don't know. I mean, Silent Hill Downpour has a track by Korn. I mean, they got Korn to do it. Is that good? I don't know. You know who also got Korn? Haze. Remember the Halo killer? Haze? They also got a Korn track. I wish I didn't. Fuck yeah, I remember Haze. Fuck yeah. So. Silent Hill 2 comes out in 2002. I think. 2001? 2002. 2002. And it is... I don't think it's controversial to say that Silent Hill 2 is one of the best games ever made. It's so good. I think that most people who played it would kind of agree that that game is something special. Guess what? Slow sales, poorly received critically. In 2002, Silent Hill 2 was considered not a flop, but a very mild success, with some critical fan backlash. And one of the things that people didn't like about it was that Silent Hill 1 was kind of confusing. There's a lot of vagaries in it. There's a lot of questions that are left unanswered, and this isn't on purpose. Silent Hill 1 is, I would argue, good because it doesn't answer every question, because it leaves such things vague, you know? Silent Hill hentai is low-key fine. What are we talking about, like bubblehead nurses, or what? Is Pyramid Head involved? Sure, why not? Sure, why not? Okay, yeah. I don't want to be scared, I want answers. Yeah, that's a thing, is that there's a lot of things in Silent Hill 1 that aren't directly explained. What was the cause of the fire in the Gillespie house? You know, how did Alessa wind up with psychic powers? People were confused, like, where do the monsters come from? What is the other world? Like, I think we have more definitive answers for that sort of thing now, looking at these more critically, and as people with a lot more life experience. I know I, for one, have changed my interpretations and my opinions on the Silent Hill series over time. And I think that I've arrived with one that I'm happy with. So Silent Hill 1 leaves a lot unanswered. And people expected Silent Hill 2 to give us those answers. And it does not. Silent Hill 2 is uninterested in answering your question. In fact, have some more questions. What are the gods of this land? What is the Crimson Ritual? What is White Claudia? Like, Silent Hill 2 is not about answering questions from Silent Hill 1. So Silent Hill 3 has to step into that role. Because Silent Hill 2 is doing its own thing, they wanted Silent Hill 3 to placate those fans who wanted answers to the questions in Silent Hill 1. But here's your problems. And there are multiple. 1, if you answer the questions in Silent Hill 1, then the Silent Hill series becomes much more boring, less scary, and less interesting. There's no reason to think about it if you answer why the text says there was a hole here, it's gone now. If you replace that with something like reap what you sow, nobody's going to be thinking about that for more than 5 minutes. They're going to go, yeah, I get it. I got it. I know what it means. We don't care once those questions are answered. It would be like if your, strange surrealist television show had a hook where a girl was murdered in the first episode, and the plot of the series revolves around finding that murderer, and then some producer comes in and is like, fans are demanding that you answer who murdered this girl. And then once you answer that, nobody watches your show anymore. Everybody stops caring. That would be silly, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be silly if a show did that and just answered who killed Laura Palmer? I mean, that girl, hypothetically, in this hypothetical show. So Silent Hill 3 has to walk this tightrope where it has to satisfy some of the answers of questions raised in Silent Hill 1 and 2, but also it can't answer too many questions. It has to leave things vague so that it's still an interesting series. Oh, and I forgot the biggest problem. You have 9 months to develop this game. Go. Start now. I would start now. Yeah, 9 months is not a good amount of time for a video game. However, highly ironic, as one of the themes of this game is pregnancy and birth. So, kind of ironic. This game is so good, though. It's an absolute miracle this game didn't wind up as a trash fire. Ugh. Alright, last thing I want to say before we start. This game, because Silent Hill 2 didn't look like it was going to be a success, this game throws a lot of baby out with the bathwater. I mean that figuratively, but thinking on it, it is literal too. There is an awful lot of baby getting thrown out with that bathwater. So this game. This game winds up dropping Silent Hill 2's themes of guilt and punishment, sickness, and sexual frustration. And it replaces those with themes of adolescence, revenge, and birth. All of these things, I think, are going to be important and things that we talk about while we're playing this. Mind you, one of the things that I find interesting is that one of the big themes in Silent Hill 1 is pregnancy. One of the big themes in Silent Hill 3 is childbirth. One of the themes in Silent Hill 4, pregnancy, motherhood, childbirth. And then none of it. There's not a game after 4 that's interested in talking about birth. Really? What are you doing? Ow. It's one of the frustrations that I have about the rest of this series is that they're really interested in Silent Hill 2's themes of guilt, but not Silent Hill 1, 3, and 4's themes of motherhood. They just won't talk about it. And it's so frustrating. Valtiel Mpreg game. Ow. Oh, all right. I think I'm ready to start. All the game devs are now dads, so they gotta make sad dad games. They all gotta make games about sad dads. Can't have games about, childbirth. Gotta have sad dad games. For boys. This ride is scary. Bunalysis.
Where am I?
Such good sound design. There's a thing that hang on just a sec. Turn that up just slightly. Okay. I can't emphasize how many puffy vests were around in the early 2000s. It's a very 2000s look. Yeah. So, I want to encourage you to listen to the background noise here. Because I'm going to tell you what I get from it, and I wonder if you imagine the same. Breathing. It sounds to me like bodily functions, but that are being observed from the inside. It sounds like breathing or blood flowing or a heartbeat, but of a body that you're in the middle of. This is the sound of being... This is the sound of being in a womb. You know? Or... yeah, it's Vor ASMR. This is when you're in a tummy. And you're like, oh no, don't digest me. But yeah, that's the impression that I get from a lot of the audio here. I don't know if that's the intended impression, but that is the one I get. This Bunui's head is done backwards. Okay, two other things. I've got a lot to say about the beginning of this game, I think. So we all find this really obnoxious now, right? When a game has like, oh, childhood mascot, but covered in blood, right? This is fucking obnoxious these days in a post Five Nights at Freddy's world, right? But there is something that this game is doing with it, okay? And that is that Heather is 17. And that's going to be important for this game, because this game wants to talk about Heather's adolescence. She is at a transition point between child and adult, and learning that the childish world is a veneer over something darker and more distraught. The fact that this game starts in an amusement park that has had its skin peeled off to reveal these metal grates and an industrial environment and is filled with blood, is sort of cluing us into this idea of Heather losing her childhood innocence and realizing how the world is going to be perceived for her adolescence, you know? I feel like eventually that veneer comes back. Like, I don't think the world is actually blood and guts and gore and rust and grates and things, but I do think that when you're in your adolescence, when you're in your teenage years, it sure does seem like that's a thing, you know? The other thing that I want to point out is something that the Silent Hill 2 remake is completely fucking up. And it's a really important part of Silent Hill that becomes less and less emphasized the worse and worse these games get. And I think this is part of it. Part of the reason why these games are getting worse and worse. And that's that these environments are interactable. You can walk around these highly detailed environments and examine almost everything in them, and there is internal monologue from the character thinking about the things in this environment. And that fills in so many gaps in our imagination. Because when we're presented with a situation like this, we know what it looks like, but we don't know what it smells like, what it feels like, what these characters are thinking about it. There's so much more information that we get about the character we're playing as and the environment that we're in because of the incidental text in these games. And reducing that, like in the Silent Hill 2 remake looks like it's doing, reducing that to only being able to interact with things that have a prompt, and then having a character say out loud, "What the hell?" or something like that, is not telling us anything. There's a lot of personality in a rabbit doll. No, it's a costume. Is there someone in there? It looks like there is, but I don't feel like making sure. Like, this is telling us something about Heather. It's telling us something about the environment. It's telling us something about the thing that we're looking at that we wouldn't be able to get otherwise. We can't see from where we are in the game that there's someone in there, but Heather gets the impression that there is. So that's new information for us. And also, there's a sense of dread that she doesn't feel like looking, which also creates a dread in the player, because now we're going, there's something in there that we can't see, and our character won't look to make sure, which leaves it vague. Our question, is there someone in there, is left unanswered, which puts us on edge. If everything in the environment is only presented to the player visually and auditorily, there's nothing there that's vague enough, you know? There's nothing there that's left lingering. We're going to be left with the question, is there somebody inside that suit, for the whole game? That's never going to get answered. And that's good. That's great. The game wants us to ask that question and have it not be answered. And the later Silent Hill games refuse to do that. If they ask a question, it's going to have an answer. And they barely even ask questions of their environments, you know? But what if it had havoc physics? Well, then that tornado could carry a car. Oh! It's a giant rabbit costume. Why would this be here? And what's this? Something strange in a cagey box thing. A person? Not quite. I don't really want to stare at it for very long, whatever it is. This, oh man. There's so many good things happening here because it's telling us so much about Heather. When if James was in this situation looking at these bloodied dolls, he would say, who could have done this? Like, he would have been asking questions like, how did this happen? Who could have done this? Or whatever, you know? Heather's much more interested in the shape of the thing, but is also really wary of it, you know? Also, this thing in a cage is present in the sewers in Silent Hill 1. And a couple of times in the school. It's actually a reoccurring thing in the environment in that game. It's a good touch. To the north, that is, if I keep going the way that I'm facing, I'll find the roller coaster. Is this an amusement park? There's so much of this little incidental text, and it's I would argue, super important for this game. The fact that it's not present in stuff like Downpour is part of what makes those games just really bad. They're really hard to put yourself into, you know? They're more difficult to empathize with the characters in. And part of that is that we're not let into their heads. In a way that's as elegant as what this game does. It's also really bold to start this game here with a gun and a submachine gun. And in the middle of this amusement park. It's a lot different than Silent Hill 3, or Silent Hill 2, when you read Mary's letter and then take a long, long walk to the graveyard through the woods. This kind of puts you right in the shit. It's a lot. I believe the Uzi is a New Game Plus item. And nope, you always start with it here. Yeah. Very weird. You only have one clip of ammo, though. Magazine? Is a submachine gun a magazine or a clip? I don't know. I do not know. Clipazine. Sure. Lakeside Amusement Park. If it comes off the gun, it's a magazine. Okay. Alright, I see. So, let's talk about the dogs really quick. Clips are rare, you're pretty safe saying mag. Is the clip the thing where it's like the bullets and then they're on, like the back of the bullet is on like a little rail thing? So you can push the bullets into the gun and then you take the little rail off and you just throw it away? Like that? Okay, got it. Stripper clips. Oh, that's a Nintendo Switch game. I love that game. That's from the makers of Crow Country, isn't it? I don't know if anybody's gonna understand that joke. Hey, let's talk about this dog real quick. So, what the dog doing? Can somebody explain it to me? There's a game for the Nintendo Switch called Snipper Clips. It's a cute little multiplayer game. Anyway, it is a split face like the lizard boss from Silent Hill 1. It does. Silent Hill 1 has a few dog enemies that look like they're kind of skinned. And during the course of that game, I posited that the dogs were representative of Alessa's fear of dogs. Like, just kind of being surprised by them around the neighborhood, sort of a thing. Like I don't think she's got like a phobia. I don't think she's got like a fear of dogs, but like some dogs can be aggressive and that'll scare a little girl. Yeah, I get it. Like I kind of understand that. This one is much different. It's not skinned the same way that the Silent Hill 1 was. In fact, it looks more like it's burned and bandaged. Which is interesting because that's something that happens to Alessa. So these dogs are Alessa's monster in that they represent one of Alessa's fears, but they also represent Alessa herself in some way, you know? She's seeing herself in the monsters now. They have aspects of both her and her own fears. Like they are interchangeable. And I think that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of interesting. If they don't look particularly burned to you right now, wait until later. It's pretty unambiguous. Is there a Red Riding Hood motif in Silent Hill 1? I don't think so. Not that I remember. There's references to Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, a couple of those sort of things. I don't think Red Riding Hood's one of them. Souvenir shop. There's a rabbit picture on it. So one of the things that I'm going to spoil, because we need to talk about it for the entire game, is that our main character, Heather, is the baby from the good endings in Silent Hill 1. She is part of Cheryl. She's part of Alessa. But she's also her own person. But those things are going to come up in the story. I was going to play this in another 20 years. At the beginning of this stream, I showed how to play it. I showed how to get it running on PC. You can go back and watch it. I highly recommend it. There are boxes of cookies and chocolates on display. I love this kind of stuff, but I don't feel like eating it here and now. There are some normal souvenir type toys here. Never thought I'd say normal in a place like this. I absolutely adore the characterization that Heather gets from incidental text. It tells us so much about her. There's so much flavor in it. I think there's a little bit of this in Silent Hill 1 and 2 with Harry and James. I think they get a little bit of personality in their incidental dialogue, in like the descriptions and stuff, but they're not like Heather does. There are lots of different styles, but I don't really want any of them. I'm getting out of this nasty place. If they didn't have any tools, now that'd be a different story. It's bread. It's bread. People laugh about It's Bread, but it really is a like father, like daughter kind of thing, because Harry Mason in the church going, Bible, when he's looking at a book in the church, is great. Where were shirts for sale? I don't think they'd help me at all. You know what else people forget about? Look at this poster here. Robbie the Rabbit is not Lakeside Amusement Park's mascot. Or rather, not their only mascot. There are 4 of them. I believe they're Huey Horse, Katie Kitty, and Dewey Duck, I think. Off the top of my head, I don't super recall. They don't make as much of an appearance. A little bit sad. Norman Reedus is in this game. That's not true. For mascots. FNAF reference. Oh, God. Yo, I would love some butter cake.
Our favorite Silent Hill mascot, Tookie the Toucan.
Shut the fuck up. I will murder Tukey. God is my witness, I will see the light drain from his eyes. Fuck that toucan. What the hell is a butter cake? What is it? What is a butter cake? That sounds unhealthy. Lot of butter. There's a rabbit stuffed animal here. It's like an oil cake? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I do like that the big obvious door is shut tight. Can't go through that thing. But you can go through the little side door. No problem. I love getting blindsided by something like this so early in the game. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they really just want you on the edge of your seat for this part, don't they? But I want to talk about the mountain coaster. I'm gonna say something really stupid about the mountain coaster. I'm gonna get a little safer first. Yeah, that's locked. And there's something in there. Can I see what it is? No. Looks like it's moving. It's all music, no screechy radio. We do not have a radio yet. At least I don't think so. Oh, I do. Huh. It actually doesn't do a lot right here. Yeah, this do look like it's crawling with something. Danger zone. So, I wanted to point out that on the mountain coaster sign, all of the letters in coaster are burned out, except the S and the T. ST is an abbreviation for saint. Is this going to be relevant later with the religious themes this game has? No. It's probably just a coincidence and I'm stupid. I'm just drawing conclusions where there probably aren't any, you know. But it's kind of true. I mean, Claudius sees Alessa as something of a saint. So like this, you know, it's definitely a reach. It's not true. But you know.
No. Is on ST General Transgender Pride.
Oh, I love seeing like the tents and stuff. You know how they're walking on a roller coaster is probably a pretty bad idea. I don't know if I'd recommend that. Roller coaster of love. Roller coaster. Ooh, 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 ooh. Not good. Damn, gotta sleep off all those fries. Mustard?
What a nightmare.
Gosh, the lighting in this scene is so good. Too much butter cake. Happy burger!
Dad, it's me. Yeah. Sorry I didn't call sooner. Yeah, I guess I was. Anyway, I'm coming home now. Oh, I didn't get that thing you asked me to. Okay. Okay, I will. I love you too, Dad.
Heather, I need to speak with you. My name is
Seems like a
Douglas
weirdo.
Clark. I'm a detective.
A detective? Really? Well, nice talking to you.
Hold on. There's someone that wants to meet you. Just let me have an hour. No, half an hour of your time.
My daddy always told me not to talk to strangers.
This is very important. It's about your birth.
I'm not interested. Are you still following me? Do I have to scream?
Sorry. I'll wait here.
Oh man, this song is so good. Oh. Kid, you want to know how you were born? Thing is, what? What does Douglas know at this point about how she was born? Because I don't think it's much. I think at this point, Claudia has probably told him maybe that she's her mother. Something like that. Angel tossed you at your dad, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I don't think she told Douglas that. I do like, early on, getting an ambiguous statement like, it's about your birth. Because Douglas doesn't know this, but that's interesting foreshadowing. This is a game about Alessa's birth in two senses of the word. It's about the way that she was given birth to, of course. But it's about the thing that she will give birth to as well, right? It's a really interesting setup. Fascinating foreshadowing. There's a lot of double speak in this game. There's a lot of characters who say one thing and mean multiple things by it. I don't think Douglas meant that to be like a double entendre, but I do think that it's meant to be that way in the course of the game. The thing that Heather is holding at the beginning of the game,
I think what she gives birth to are odd theories about Silent Hill by proxy of the game guide, right?
that too, yeah. The thing that Heather was holding in the beginning of the game is this pendant that she's got. Dad gave me this pendant on my birthday. It's one of my treasured belongings. Craftpunk, thank you so much for the sub. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the Court of Hearts, Your Majesty. There's a jewel inside, like a little red tablet. Birth and birthday? Yeah. Yep. Foreshadowing. Just taking the red pill. I think this is a berserk thing, actually. Daisy Villa, apartment 102. Red thing? That's berserk. We do still have our knife on us. None of our guns, though. I think those were only for the nightmare. Is the bayonet a suppository? I certainly hope not. The mark on this mirror looks so familiar somehow. What do I know it from? Where did I once see it? And why does my head hurt so much when I try to remember it? Mall toilet. Is that the mark of Samus? No. That's got a big S, a big cool S on it. It's like the Shine Spark thing, right? Very good transition to the first save screen, yeah. Guess someone's in there. Yeah, it's occupied. Rude of me to keep knocking, huh? I don't like mirrors. It's almost like there's an unknown world right on the other side. And the person staring at me isn't really me. Just an imitator. I know how stupid that sounds, but that's how I feel. If I keep thinking about it, it just makes me feel sick. 1, excellent foreshadowing. 2, you think this is where Silent Hill Origins got its bullshit from? I don't think we can leave this way, actually. That weird old detective is out there, so I'm not leaving. Yeah, there we go. Also, dang, what a good-looking mirror. What a good-looking mirror in a video game. These are so hard to do because you have to render the entire scene twice. Didn't expect a trans allegory in Silent Hill. Guess what? So, I don't think it's on purpose, But there's a couple of readings that you can do about Heather. Some of the popular ones that, if you want to, you can read this way, is that Heather's trans. Heather might be transgirl, or Heather might be asexual, or both. There's a couple of instances where reading these is somewhat valid in the text. Nothing definitive, and I don't think it's intended, but ain't nobody gonna stop you if you do. You know what's also valid? Heather. Yeah, absolutely agree. The road is blocked with empty boxes. There's definitely part of a system too, right? Yeah. Yeah. You wind up meeting one of them. How did you... Well, that's helpful. Maybe I should walk around it. Oh, never mind. How did this car park here? I totally agree. How did this car park here? How did you get out of it? Did they just climb out the back? Damn. How did it not get towed away? They couldn't get it out of the alley. Obviously. I do like that this game wastes no time at all getting fucking weird. Ooh. The Revolt of Turnale. 30% off sale. I mean, that guy knew if he parked like an absolute twat, he wouldn't get towed. Maybe. How far are we into this game? I've been talking for like 30 minutes, but we're actually like 5 minutes into this game. I recently learned what the stereotypical white van is based on. What is that, a Ford Fleet? Something like that. Cosmetic Angel. GMC Vandura. Oh, that makes sense. Silver Ring House. I love... Okay. So this is part of the mall that's closed down. Presumably just because, like, all of these shops wound up being, like, closed for various reasons. So they just shut the gate and they're just leaving it, right? So you can see aspects of the mall that are decaying. Like there's clearly another section of it where things are living. But back here, it's pretty dead. And I love that you can hear people in the background. Fancy goods. Purple side. Bert's hat. Oh, Bert's hat? A T? I think it's supposed to be a T. Kind of looks like an F, though. That hat belongs to Bert and Bert alone.
Stay back! Get the hell away from me! What the hell is this thing?
Oh, this must be Bert. It's a monster. I killed it. So, couple things. Fun the thing had a fleshlight for a face. Would you care to explain? I'd love to. So, first of all, that monster has a pretty weird shaped face, right? It has these like kind of pouty, sort of luscious lips, but they're framed in almost a perfect circle. And this combination of the organic with the geometric is something that we see like Pyramid Head doing, right? It's something that I think Masahiro Ito is interested in. And it's sort of, not quite Gigery, but it's sort of that kind of biomechanical aspect where it has natural aspects with like artificial shapes. And I think that's a really interesting aspect of like horror design. That's pretty cool. Like you don't get a lot of naturally occurring creatures that have just a part of their body that's a perfect circle, you know? It'd be very weird. Or like a perfect geometric shape. It would be very strange. Another thing I want to point out is that its arms are tearing apart. You can see like the bone inside, which seems very uncomfortable. Like their body is growing in a way that's causing them a lot of distress. That their body's existence is painful. That it's breaking apart at the seams. And I would also like to point out that it is, if you look at its coloring, it's kind of wearing boots. Like it's got kind of like darker areas of its legs that go up to just under the knee. And it's also got a little like skirt sort of thing. And then it's kind of got bare arms. And it's almost a parody of Heather's outfit. There's a lot of similarities between it and Heather's appearance, but the way that its lips and legs and butt are kind of emphasized is incredibly uncomfortable. It's incredibly... This isn't quite sexualized the same way as the bubble-headed nurses, but it is sexualized in a way. And if you want to read into Heather as ace allegory, this is a good place to do it. Or Heather as trans allegory. If you want to emphasize the Heather as trans allegory, you talk about body dysmorphia and the way that the appearance and shape of the body is what's causing this thing pain. If you want to talk about asexuality, you would say that the way that this is kind of like a sexualized parody of Heather could represent the way that she's uncomfortable with people viewing her, that the other people's conception of her as a sexual entity is monstrous to her. Like that idea is uncomfortable and threatening. I believe that the intended reading is a little closer to Heather is still young enough to be uncomfortable with that sexuality. I don't know if they intended her to be completely ace, but she's definitely intended to be concerned with and uncomfortable with being sexualized. In a way that a lot of women growing up are expected to be. Especially when this happens in a clothing store. Yeah. Especially when this is happening in a mall. Especially when, girls and teenagers are presented with fashionable clothing that does look too sexual. So it's probably about adolescence, but there's also a lot of super interesting readings that you could bring to it, I think. I really think so. Especially when it's happening by older men. She did just have a creepy guy follow her around, yeah. Ooh. I can tell from here that it's dead. Should I call the police? Not like they'd believe me if I said somebody'd been killed by a monster.
It's almost like reducing women to nothing more than a birthing vessel is a horrible, fucked up thing to do. Lucky bun buns, lucky bun buns, lucky bun buns.
Almost like that, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's not that I hate clothes, but this isn't the time or place. So here's a question I'd like to ask the audience. And I think I know the answer. I have an idea what the answer is. But that's Angela's model, by the way. It has no story relevance, but just a reused asset. Like I said earlier, this game was made in less than a year. They had 9 months to make this game. There's gonna be some reused assets in places. Even this creature, which is called the Closer, even this thing is based off a creature from Silent Hill 2 that kind of barely shows up in that game. But that one had lips and mouths on its arms. But I believe they used a lot of the assets from that. And remade it into a new thing. The same with people looking at Voltiel's texture and seeing some of the similarities between Voltiel's texture and Pyramid Head's. There's a lot of people that read into that more than they had like 9 months to make this game. I'm not saying that's the explanation for all of the connections, but it is an explanation.
To put reused in all caps. My phone auto-corrected to a phrase I used last. I'm not pointing it out as an insult to the devs. In fact, I enjoy their resourcefulness.
You're fine. I know. I got it. It's just a poster. Big deal. Something about this face. It's a little creepy. Door's unlocked now. Cool. I think here's where we get our map. All right, so here would be my question. How did a monster show up here? We're not in Silent Hill. We're not anywhere near there. How did that happen? It's pretty clear from the word go that the mechanics of the other world
Magic.
Snowy, thank you so much for 58 months. Oh my goodness. Same way the save symbol was in the bathroom. Voltiel let it loose. Sure. Yeah. Teleported via the fog world. So it's clear from the word go that the mechanics of this universe are different than Silent Hill 1 and 2. In Silent Hill 1, it's Alessa's psychic powers which are causing the monsters to manifest out of her nightmares. In Silent Hill 2, the spiritual power of the town has been corrupted and is manifesting monsters from the people there. Neither of these are a possibility at the beginning of this game. Because Alessa, as far as we know, is dead. And we are not in the town of Silent Hill. So neither of those explanations work in talking about how the monster shows up here. How that closer attacked us, right? There is an explanation, but it's a new one. They're gonna give us a different one. They're gonna tell us a new thing. And that's cool and good. I like when that happens.
Clearly the canon ending of SH is the alien ending, as it's the only consistent one from SH1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, true. True. You know, that also puts them into a solid timeline. Like, we know that Silent Hill 1 has to happen first, and then 2, and then 3, chronologically. Because of those alien endings, you know? Do the monsters attack Claudia and Vincent? Doesn't seem like it. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it sure doesn't seem like they do. Be too hard to get through here with all the boxes and pallets. I like how she's like, it's not impossible, but Wouldn't really be worth all the effort, would it? I don't really feel like it. Oh, the sound design is so good. It's so good. Alright. So this thing is a numb body. Shares a similar name to the Lying Bodies from Silent Hill 2. Decidedly different, though. It's got kind of a weird shape to it, and some little leggies. Sometimes, especially when you've only got 8 months to make a game, a monster is just a monster because we needed a monster to fill that spot. However, if I was going to read too far into it, the best explanation for these things that I've heard, or at least my favorite one, is that they resemble an ultrasound of like a very early fetus. Like some kind of ultrasound imagery of that. And I can kind of see it. Like it's a bit of a stretch of the imagination. But I do like it. I wasn't done exploring back there. They look like spermatozoid with legs. Kinda, yeah. Yeah, they've got little flippers. Like tadpoles. Turning into frogas. Like they're halfway done. Man, these locks be broken. This is a good moment. You might not realize it, but that was a tutorial. They just taught us something. Beef jerky. So, now we've got beef's jerky. Sometimes it's just enough to distract monsters. If you want, you can play this game in a certain way where you can use beef jerky and the monsters will attack it instead of you. It's kind of nice. Give yourself a little breathing room. But they showed us that that doggo was more interested in that jerky than us. It's a good introduction to that mechanic. They want to snap into a Slim Jim, brother. It's like a magic circle I remember reading about in a book on black magic. Does it seem so familiar because I read about it in that book? No, that's not it. It's not the book. It's from the altar. Altar? What am I thinking? Sure, it's nothing. It's probably nothing. Something's fallen between the table and the floor. I think it might be a key. If my arms were a little longer, I might be able to reach it. It's a huge pile of cardboard boxes on the table, full of books. It's way too much of a pain to move something that heavy. I love that Heather's not like, I can't. It's that, I don't wanna. God, isn't the sound design so good? They really went for it. They really went for it here. Big horror ambiance. I'm gonna say that I think I forgot something. What do you think of 4? Silent Hill 4? That game is fantastic. I love it. I hate playing it. It's really annoying to try and play. But like as a game, as a story, I love it. What is the Bunalysis for Metal Gear Solid 3? Here's my issue with MGS3. I think it's pretty good. I don't know what else I have to say about it. I'm sure I could talk my way through it. But it's just like, it's really good. Sunshine Princess. Silent Hill 4, The Room. Yes, it is. Here it is. The moment everyone's been waiting for. Spread. But I'm not really hungry, so I guess I don't need to worry about it. It's bread. There are no employees around. I wonder where they all went. Maybe it's the monsters. Helen's Bakery crispy toasted bread right to your very door. Everything on sale. Sorry to be done with this. Is this on Steam? No, that's a good question. Unfortunately, I don't think so. But a quick Google search will definitely lead you to a place where you can acquire it.
Bread? It looks like bread to you.
When does bread become toast? Tongs. You know what? I got a complaint. All toasters toast toast? No, they don't, Mario. Toasters toast bread. They toast bread into toast. They don't toast the toast. Then you just have burnt bread. Stupid. I'm just saying. Making a toast is no big deal. You just put the bread in the slot. Pow! Thanks, Eddie. Plus, they can toast bagels, yeah? Or Pop-Tarts? Does Heather clack the tongs twice? Does she know proper tong etiquette? I don't hear her do it, so I'm not sure. But you do gotta go like, and then you grab the thing. Eepy Sketches, thank you for the follow, my fur and whiskers. Why does God give his biggest yawns to his eepiest soldiers? I got the key taken with tongs. Does this key like tongs? Oh, it's positively taken with them. My bestsellers. Was looking for a relaxing stream and found this. Oh, I'm glad. I don't know how relaxing this game is. But, I do try to be pretty chill. Gosh, I love that it sounds like somebody's running a washing machine on a floor above you. It's horrible.
Making a jump scare ain't no big deal. You just put the tart in the toaster and then pop.
I get that. That's a reference to Silent Hill Revelations 3D.
My brain is broken from 12 hours of manual labor in summer heat, but the Eddie Toast Big was one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Kira, thank you so much for the tip. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Washing machine? You mean the thing step siblings get stuck in?
That's correct. Becoming. Always becoming. Always becoming. Jeez. No. Hyper Phantasm, thank you for the follow. Quality Pants, thank you for the sub. No! Dang it. Heckin'. You can't just bukkake me with tarts. None of the books are very interesting, just the kind that I can buy anywhere.
I believe you should be able to find the Norman Reedus poster in here. It's a poster kinda like the Shining posters you can find in SH2.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know Norman Reedus was in a Silent Hill until PT. Well, that's interesting. Was this note? Fair is foul and foul is fair. Put these books out of order. Silent Hill 1 does have those Dario Argento posters, yeah. Let me take a look. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's not at a resolution you would see it. But that's cute. Cool. The line is from Macbeth. That makes sense. So I'm playing this on normal riddle difficulty. Ah, here it is. There's the Norman Reedus right down there. There's one right there too. These puzzles get very different if you play them on different difficulties. Just line up the books I found on the floor. Yeah, boy, do they. Shakespeare Anthology 1. Okay. All right. So that's the medium riddle difficulty. That's not bad. That's pretty doable. On hard, this puzzle gets somewhat unfair. The hard mode version of this puzzle starts with in here be a tragedy, art thou player or audience, and requires you to have some in-depth knowledge of 5 different Shakespeare plays. Because it is a riddle that describes those plays in a specific order and then asks you to reverse that order. And that is the door code. Which ones? Specifically, off the top of my head, it does need Othello, The Tempest. I'm pretty sure Hamlet. Is it William the... No. Maybe? It's one of his biographies. It's not my favorite puzzle. It's pretty hard. Henry V, probably? I think. The standard set: Othello, The Tempest, Hamlet, King Lear, and Cats, of course. I will level with you. I'm assuming Jeremy Blaustein. I have not read all of those and would not just for this game. So I think I like Jeremy Blaustein. I think Jeremy Blaustein's pretty cool. Did the translation, localization work for this, Metal Gear Solid, and a bunch of other stuff. I don't believe he did the riddles on this one, though. I think he did the dialogue, but I think the riddles were handled by someone else because Voidburger interviewed her when she did a series of videos about the hard mode Silent Hill 3 puzzles, which I highly recommend. Go watch Voidburger's stuff. It's really good. 6382. Yeah, Voidburger did a whole series explaining how the hard mode puzzles work, how they were supposed to work, and how due to some bugs and miscommunications, the answers for them aren't always right. Sometimes the clue gives you the wrong answer. And that's rough. 6382. All right. That's just cruel. Yeah, there's a puzzle later on that Zoomy. Hello.
Hey, wait, what's going on? Where is everybody? Those weird monsters?
They have come to witness the beginning. The rebirth
of paradise, despoiled by mankind.
What are you talking about?
Don't you know? Your power is needed.
How should I know?
I am Claudia.
So what?
Remember me, and your true self as well. Also, that which you must become. The one who will lead us to paradise with blood-stained hands.
Claudia, right? Did you do all this?
It was the hand of God.
I don't get it. What does she want me to remember?
Oh, dang. Sammy, thank you so much for the raid. Oh my goodness. It's good to see you. I hope you were having a lovely stream. I'm sorry, I wanted to wait until after the cutscene. Ah! I had to pee so much. Oh, no worries. Oh my gosh. The accent on Claudia is an interesting choice. Here's what's even more interesting, okay? Claudia right there is voiced by Donna Burke, who does a fantastic job, and is probably one of the only voice actors I can think of in a Silent Hill game that had a career in voice acting outside of these games. She also voices Angela in Silent Hill 2. And she does a great fucking job. She's got enough range to do both. And it's awesome. She's also the iDroid in Metal Gear Solid 5. She is, yeah. There were a couple people in Team Silent who wound up working on a bunch of Metal Gear Solid games. Oh, she's also like 3 or 4 different characters in the hit video game Night Cry from the director of Clock Tower. Remember Night Cry? She does a great job. That game's terrible. She does an excellent job though. PS2 went hard at times for animation. What's fascinating is that, so without Takayoshi Sato on the team, because he didn't work on Silent Hill 3 at all, we don't actually have a lot of CG animation in Silent Hill 3 at all, as much as like Silent Hill 1 and 2. There's not as much pre-rendered CG. A lot of it is like in-game cutscenes. Aw, Zindri. Heck. Can't wait for the render time. Yeah, they only got 9 months to make the game. But the cutscenes still look great, and the animation is so good. It's spectacular. There are lots of things posted on the bulletin board. Notices, schedules, stuff like that. I don't think they're important. Well, Heather, maybe they were important to somebody. I haven't played this in 15 years. I feel so old. It's so good. It still holds up so well. Surprised they decided to have a re-record. Oh, that's cool. I saw a remake and I was worried that we were talking about Silent Hill 3 HD Collection, which recast all of the voice actors in this game.
I'm still hoping someday you lad and Angela last mention redeem.
Lost? I love that chanting. Also, do you notice that this door says Yggdrasil? Like, that's the world tree, right? Jewelry. Cathedral. Cathedral. Nornen. Like the Norn? So the SH2 VAs were not good in the HD collection. How did the SH3 VAs fare? Slightly better, but not much. They replaced Vincent with Spider-Man. Yeah. Yuri Lowenthal, thank you. And, don't like it. Claudia, I think, was replaced with a radio? What the hell is this doing falling down from the ceiling? Anyway, I guess that explains the static from just before. All it's picking up is static. I wonder if it's broken.
Is this a dream? It's gotta be.
I love that we never get a good look at what that was.
Not even a kid could believe in this. But when am I going to back up?
Okay. Couple things. We just step out of an elevator and into another elevator? Yeah. Weird, right? Weird? Weird. Where to even start? Yeah, not even a kid could believe this. There's the theme of lost childhood. A little bit, yeah. Yeah. In Silent Hill 1, when we get these sequences that take place in a more nightmarish version of reality, when the other world takes over, it's usually accompanied by the sirens and a fade to black. Everything starts getting dark before you wind up having the nightmare and then waking up afterwards, right? It's very related to sleep. The other world is supposed to be nightmarish, and that's why it's accompanied with darkness beforehand. In Silent Hill 2, it's much more gradual. It's like this descent into the environment decaying around you. It's related to sickness and descent. In this game, it's more often accompanied by an incredible amount of pain and blood. And there's two things that I think this is trying to call to mind. Is birth and menarche. Themes of pregnancy and birth are going to be a really large part of the plot going forward here. And those are often accompanied by pain and blood. These are just parts of the process. But one of the themes is also adolescence. And for a girl like Heather, that could also mean menstruation. So we also get, cramps and pain and blood and all of this stuff as Heather winds up waking up into the nightmare version of these worlds, right? But also, interesting to point out that this nightmare world is happening not in Silent Hill. We're not in Silent Hill. We're miles and miles away. Is it canon what town the mall is in? I don't know if it's ever outright stated. We do see that this is, I think at the... No, I'm not gonna make speculation. We do see the train station. So we know kind of what road it's at, but we don't know, unfortunately, what town it's actually in. As far as I remember. We do know that Silent Hill 4 takes place in No, not South Vale. Ashfield. That's it. I was gonna say, South Vale is in Silent Hill. Yeah, it's South Ashfield. I don't think this takes place in the same one. Should know that. I should know that. When leaving the room, be sure to turn out the lights. It will be obvious if they are not switched off. Sounds like you need to play SH4 some more. Hey, guess what I'll be doing? I'll do that after this one. Do you like Silent Hill short message? Good question. No. I don't think I did. I think it was one of the better post Silent Hill 4 games we got. But I still think that I had a lot of problems with it. I could see why people like it though. And I definitely don't fault anyone who does. Like, anyone who got something out of that is, like, totally valid. But, like, it had too many problems for me, that were partially caused by being titled a Silent Hill game. I think that was a bad move. If it had just been called Short Message or something, that would have been... Then I think I would have had a more positive opinion of it. But I feel the same way about Shattered Memories. I gotta turn those lights out. Oh man, this bathroom is fucked. Bleach. It's my favorite anime. I've never watched Bleach. I don't know what it's about. Is someone actually in there? Oh no. Oh, I love this so much. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Oh, man. Someone had a bad time in here. What did they eat? Did someone respond, or is it just me? The aftermath of Taco Tuesday. It's full of filthy, muddy water. Looks like something's stopping it up. Clean bathrooms reminding me of this. Seeing this reminds me of work. Yeah. Yeah, I've been there. Will you remove the blockage? Yeah, definitely. Reach your hand right in there, Heather.
Ugh, forget it. This is way too gross. Who would even think of doing something so disgusting?
Yeah, James. What the fuck? But also, what the fuck, player? What is wrong with you? I love that she looks right at the camera. It's so good. I'm not getting any closer. I don't even want to look at it. Heather's the only normal Silent Hill protagonist? Kinda, yeah. Oh, it's really good. Also, I think, and I could be wrong, but I believe this is the bathroom that there was a save point in earlier. Because I think that over here... is the phone that Heather was at. And Douglas followed her down this hallway until she ducked into the bathroom here to hide. So this is the same hallway. It's a nice detail. It's pretty good, yeah. Harry and Murphy were pretty normal. Harry's pretty normal. The thing about Murphy that makes him a weirdo... Ah, right. And this is where we found that closer. The thing about Murphy that makes him a weirdo in Silent Hill Downpour is that, like, how long was that guy in prison for? Because, like, he got imprisoned so he could kill the guy that killed his kid or whatever. But, like, I don't feel like it was that long. Because he looks the same age. Like, he looks the same age when his kid died as when he went to prison. And it's like, as he is today. I feel like he's been in prison for like a month, maybe. And his whole otherworld thing is, oh, I'm haunted by bars and cages and clocks and prisons. I'm haunted by monster police cars. Like, everything in his whole story is related to him being imprisoned. And I feel like he was in jail for like a week. Like, it just doesn't feel like... It's really weird. As speed running his own trauma. Maybe before his kid was killed, he was some kind of prison otak. Yeah, he was just a big fan of prison. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Man, I love a game about unwanted pregnancy. That really commits to its themes.
Given how uncomfortable Heather's experience with a public bathroom just was, I have to assume she's megatrans.
That might be. Like I said, that is a valid reading. This is the solution to a puzzle. Oh, I love the sound design in this game. It's so good. Oh. So here's a thing though, is that okay. Sometimes I feel like my complaints about the newer Silent Hills and like my love for the older ones is like old thing good, new thing bad, you know? Like it's kind of obnoxious to just be like, oh, all new thing bad. Oh, all old thing good. Like it's kind of dumb, right? However, I do like to point out differences where I can find them, because I think that with a lot of the newer Silent Hills, I don't know if people connect to them the same way that people do with the old ones. And I do think there's reasons for that. And I do think there's differences. And one of them is that a modern Silent Hill game doesn't have the balls to be about abortion. That is a step way too far for any of these cowardly fucking Silent Hill games in the future. They're all about dead kids, but none of them are willing to talk about abortion. You know? Like, Homecoming, Downpour, these games are about dead children, but they won't talk about this, you know?
Pull up. Let him cook.
This hits harder. Lucky's Boosie. Oh my god. Goodness. It's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I want the games to be about abortion, but I do think that it's a topic that is more interesting to tackle. I think it's way more interesting. Co-op Silent Hill and Vita have a female playable character? I believe it does. Because you make your own character in there. And I think you can choose male or female. I think. Dead kid equals boring? Dead kids are boring!
Paw Curls announcing Silent Hill 3 Remake by Bloober Team.
No, please, no. I don't know. I feel like they're not interested in doing this game because it makes them uncomfortable. I think they're willing to talk about dead wives. But, like, I think they're threatened by female bodily autonomy. I'm just going to say it. I think topics like periods and birth and abortion are things that these game developers are too uncomfortable to talk about. With talking about. I just think they're scared of it. I think they're willing to talk about, dead kids or, murdered wives or whatever. But I don't think they're willing to talk about things that are too real like that. I don't know. Turning Red. Turning Red is... I've never seen it, but I respect it. Also, this is what we use the coat hanger for. Turning Red is that 9/11 movie? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, totally. I think this is one of my favorite dialogues. Why would something like this be here? This isn't a hospital. I I miss I miss having those like little incidental dialogues. They're so good. Ooh, hey. Did y'all like Silent Hill 1? I love Silent Hill 1. That's like my favorite game. Smallest Waffle, thank you for the follow, my fur and whiskers. So that's a video that appears in Silent Hill 1, in the mall section of the game. There's like a stack of TVs. It's the first time we see Cheryl in this game, too. Remake of Silent Hill 2 is on the way? I know, it makes me want to die. It did boop me with that snoot. It did do that. Mannequins? Changing rooms. More clothing stores. If I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah, this is cool. I like this. This raises so many questions. Ah, there's our little save point. This again. Looking at it makes my head hurt, but at the same time, it's like so familiar.
Talk about a dead mall.
I know I've forgotten something really important, but I also have the feeling I'd be better off not remembering it. Forgot to build the bottom floor. Yeah, that makes sense. Silent Hill 1 through 4 are about the horror of the everyday world. It's about stuff going on inside your head, the discomfort of living with other people, and the expectations they put on us, the fear of loneliness and isolation. American Silent Hill is how it would be scary if your son got murdered. Yeah. I think so. Like, obviously there's a lot of pretty out there, like, supernatural aspects to the earlier Silent Hill games. Like, Silent Hill 4 is about, like, ooh, it would be scarier if Freddy Krueger existed, you know? Silent Hill 1 is a little bit like, ooh, psychic powers, but I don't think that's incorrect, though. Because I think that those are a metaphor for something greater. Like, Silent Hill 1 is talking about, like, it is talking about the stuff inside your head getting out. So, like, there is a metaphor being implemented there. And Silent Hill 4 is about, yeah, isolation, loneliness, like that sort of stuff. So, like, that makes sense. Because, like, in, like, Silent Hill Downpour or something like that, which is about your kid got murdered. The monster in that pyramid head, but with a gas mask this time, is a metaphor for a murderer. You know, like it's not saying anything deeper than that. The monster's like a metaphor for a child killer, and you know because it kills children when you watch it kill children in a cutscene. So, yeah, that makes sense. I do feel like 1 through 4 have a lot more going on. They do have horrors that you can kind of relate to. That does make sense. Heather just looks at some bread and she's like, what would something like this be doing here? This isn't a bakery. There's a nice silver ring in here last time I came. Bummer that it's gone, huh? Nut. This is where the walnut used to be. Only the walnut lives here now. There was a nut here. It's gone now.
American Silent Hill be like, what if a scowling monster jumped out and said oogity boogity boo?
Kinda, yeah. Oh. Select one. That's locked. Simultaneously, it is a critique of capitalism. Well, I'll never say no to a critique of capitalism. I do always enjoy that. Remember the horrible misinterpretation fandom wiki article about the roasted dog in SH3 being about gross Chinese food? Oh god! Silent Hill wiki sucks so bad. It's so bad. Okay, pretty good. Circumcision wiki incident. I should wait until Silent Hill 4 to get into that. Because it's mostly about Silent Hill 4. Though he did make some comments about SH3. Specifically the split headworm. So maybe when we get to that, I'll talk about Heather's circumcision. Come out and just admit the reason for the lack of vaginal trauma in the modern games is because it's all about the foreskins. I don't know if they're even willing to talk about that. Is this barbecued dog? Who the hell would make something like this? Furthermore, who the hell would eat it? There's something inside the dog's stomach. Cooked key. So, in my estimation, if you listen to the Silent Hill wiki, they think this is talking about Chinese food. That's so fucking offensive. I think, like I mentioned earlier, that the dogs are a fear of Alessa's, but also sort of a representation of her, that she exists as her own fears. That these dogs are burned and bandaged. But there's something that's borrowed from Silent Hill 1, which represented one of Alessa's fears. She's like dogs in the neighborhood, you know? So yeah, a distinctly Western restaurant. I don't, they're so fucked up. Also, the dog is being served up for the consumption by others. Yeah.
If I'm represented by the thing I fear, then how come you are in the cold fear and about hot heat the fear?
You know what? You make a great point. Couldn't have said it better myself. Silent Hill Origin, pre or post or both? Silent Hill Origins is the first game made after Silent Hill 4. It is a prequel to the series that takes place before Silent Hill 1. And it's the worst game in the series. It's the worst one. I hate it. Could it also reflect how they're thinking about vegetarianism? I suppose it could. That's not an invalid reading you could bring to it. I don't know if that's represented anywhere else in the text. So I think it would be a bit of a stretch, but, you know, if you wanted to bring that to it, you might be able to. How is Homecoming not the worst? Homecoming is actually, I think, one of the best Silent Hills after 4. I think Homecoming is probably the best of them. 3 out of 10. Yeah. It's not as boring as Downpour. It's not as frustrating to play as Origins. And it's not as stupid as Shattered Memories. It's schlocky nonsense that's kind of at least trying to look like a Silent Hill game. Yeah. It's not succeeding in any way, shape, or form, but, you know. There we go. Now we're cooking. The key has a beam. Yes. There's warm steam coming out of the pipe. There's nothing else interesting going on here. canned light bulbs. Not that I've found. Yeah. When you're breaking my mind, I'm sorry. That's just an opinion. I don't think it's an objective fact that Homecoming is a better game than Downpour. I just like it more. Oh boy. It's letting off some steam. It's an interesting little noise. Ah, there we go. Detergent. Oh man. I love combining bleach and detergents. That's my favorite thing to do. Do not ever I need to continue to stress this. Please do not combine a bleach and a detergent. Anything that's got chlorine in it. Yeah, this kills the U.
Please don't pull at Peggy Hill.
Yeah, do not. So, there's a bunch of these evil things in here. We gotta get rid of them somehow. So we start by turning off the fan. And then we use this trash can, it's empty, to combine the bleach and the detergent. Again, do not do this. If you're not aware...
Mustard gas. That sounds nice. Dies lucky bun down.
If I'm not mistaken, and it's been a while since I've taken a chemistry course, blem. But if you combine bleach and detergent, that creates,
Congrats on being pregged.
Thank you, Alicia. Oh my goodness. What this creates is called chlorine gas. Now this is aerosolized chlorine that gets into your lungs, where it combines with moisture, which is hydrogen, carbon and oxygen, or hydrogen and oxygen, and that combines to create hydrochloric acid. The chlorine gets in your lungs and it makes hydrochloric acid inside you, and then that burns your lungs from the inside and kills you, and you're dead. Do not do this. Okay? All right. Do not ever. Just thinking about how easy it would be to accidentally combine them. It can be if you're like cleaning a sink or something like that. Like, yeah, it's bad. It's bad? It's bad. Yeah, bleach and ammonia will do this.
You're just denying your lungs of the sweet chlorine they need to make the hydrochloric acid they deeply desire.
They do not. They do not! Yeah, Heather, just put your face right in there. Oh my god. Ugh. So now we wait until those things are dead. They're all dead. Liz, how's it going? My goodness. Welcome on in, Raiders. They look like monsters to you. We just made chlorine gas. You know, for funsies. Yay!
Don't put drain cleaner into a stopped-up toilet with piss in it.
Oh, yeah, that'd do that too. Yeah, that might do that too. So, I'm warning you, absolutely do not do that. However, the amount of chlorine gas it creates is usually not particularly harmful. You're usually pretty okay if you do it by accident. But like, yeah, you can get like 3rd-degree burns inside your lungs. And it's not good. All right. I want to straddle the line between I don't want to scare you, but also I don't want you combining bleach and ammonia. I'm trying to thread a needle here.
One of the big reasons Heather is best Silent Hill protag is because she's a big stupid moron. We stand a dumb queen.
We
Lucky
do.
Bun, Lucky Bun Royal.
Now Heather's got no eyebrows, just like Claudia. Totally, yeah. Alright, now this room is properly ventilated. It's not a problem anymore. And the flowers and the pants were dead. Hmm. They create mustard gas? That might be right. Like I said, I'm not very good at chemistry. Those are some doggo noises. It's okay, it's fine. It's October and the mall is actually playing one of those spooky sound CDs. Don't worry about it. Mustard gas is significantly more complicated and involves sulfur. If you're not a chemist, you're not making it. I felt like that was the case. I'm not sure. My neighbor plays one of those starting in September 1st. Good. Wait, is this the way we're going? I think we're going this way. Think I'd be banned from Twitch if I made mustard gas on stream? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a chemical weapon. I would hope so. My God. Please don't, because I love Liz streams. And I want to watch them. Man, I love all those big giant pits here. These are great. Would I be banned from Twitch if I made mustard on stream? Mustard? Don't be ridiculous. Any opportunity. Any opportunity. I'll take it. Oh man, I love being presented with the absolute worst sounding enemies in any of these games. Oh, I hate the noise these make. Oh, they're terrible. Chloramine is the one you get from ammonia and bleach. Interesting. Alright. Okay. Ugh. Ooh. You know what this is? Anybody familiar with these? Y'all like some thumb screws? Yeah. It's an entire hand screw, yeah. No, don't worry, they're for thumbs. Yeah, this whole room is full of torture devices, it looks like. There's some stocks and gurney, cages. And there's ones on the walls too. Cool. This pattern looks like it could have been drawn in blood. I'll bet it's some sort of cursed symbol. No wonder my head hurts and I feel so awful when I look at it. Tramp chair anywhere in here? I don't see one. You know what this room could use? Like a Sibian. Maybe one of those wooden horse... yeah, never mind. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Oh no! No! Okay, listen. There we go. Jeez, you know what y'all are doing? Y'all are so mean. You're so strict when I'm playing these games. You don't let me have any fun at all. You're really putting my nuts in a vice. A jewel. Excellent. Got a moonstone. You have to compliment Silent Hill Origins? How? Come on. Let me think. No, seriously, how though? Like, that game is so dark you can't see any of it. The environments are all ridiculously annoying to get around in. All of the monster designs are fucking terrible. Oh god. Oh, okay. All right. Travis Grady is a really good name for a Silent Hill protagonist. Like, we get a Harry Mason, we get a Heather Mason, we get a we get a James Sunderland. I think Travis Grady's a good one. I think it fits in really well. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. And I like his dumb little truck outfit. It's all right. Yeah, depressed, isolated trucker is a great concept for a horror protagonist. Yes. Yeah. Chai! Hi, how are you? His parents sucked and are dead. Isn't that scary? Lava Flamingo. You know what I think one of the problems with Origins is? Let's see. Once you get to the end of that game, you're super glad his parents are dead. You're like, wow, these guys fucking sucked. Kinda glad they're dead. I love that this game, like the Silent Hill series in general, should know when to use music, cacophony, and silence. I think 1 through 4 are so good at knowing when to present you with sounds that you really don't want to hear. I don't want to be in that room. I don't want to hear those things. I don't want to be around them. They're fucking awful. And part of what makes them awful is how misophonic that sound is, you know? And this game does such a good job of putting you on edge and making you feel tense or isolated, or afraid just on its like sound design alone. It's really good at it. The sound design is such a huge part of communicating what this game should feel like. Hyperphantasmia. You put yourself there. Interesting. Sounds about right, yeah. My ranking from worst to best would be Book of Memories, Origins Short Message, Shatmem Homecoming, Downpour, 4132. Interesting. I think I agree with most of that. I think I hate Origins more than Book of Memories, but only slightly. I think Short Message is better than Shatmem. And I would switch Homecoming and Downpour, because Downpour is mostly just boring. What about Arcade? Could you put Arcade on the same list? I don't know. I'm leaving out stuff like the Silent Hill mobile games, Arcade, the Pachinko Machine, Play Novel, comic series. Like they're a different thing, you know. I don't know. I don't even know if I would put Book of Memories on that list, because it's just it's difficult to compare them because they're a different type of game, you know. Which is the fairly new one. Short Message. Left out PT because it's its own thing. Yeah. The other thing about PT is that it wasn't, released. Like, it's not a full game. Like, it didn't get done. Was Book of Memories the Diablo-like? It was. Okay. Nobody played Book of Memories, so y'all don't know the stupidest thing about it. There's a lot of stupid things about Book of Memories, but y'all don't know the worst of it. Because here's the thing. One, almost all of the male characters in that game are voiced by Troy Baker. He plays like 6 characters, including the main character. Which is silly. That's one thing. But the dumbest thing is that after you beat it in like the post-game content, the plot of the game is that a book arrives at your door that has your whole life written in it, and you can change some of the pages to be different things, and then the rest of the book changes, and so does your life. So every time you go into the memories, you're writing a new page that shapes where the story goes, kind of a thing. But the dumbest thing is that at the end of the game, you start finding older entries that people wrote. And some of them are like Dahlia Gillespie writing that she wants a daughter named Alessa who has psychic powers or something. And then there's one, like, it starts trying to tie all the other Silent Hill games into this by saying all of there were characters in all the other Silent Hill games who wrote in the Book of Memories. And it was responsible for the whole thing. Yeah. It's so dumb. It's really dumb. Y'all don't even know. Shit's stupid. Where's that door we were supposed to go to? I think it's upstairs. I think it might be upstairs. It's genuinely so much worse than the Megamycete. Is that the Resident Evil thing? Okay, here we go. It's locked. The door has a red crescent and a round dent. But I'm not sure because there's no dog here. Oh, hi, doggy. Something's written here in the same color red. Piling up the 300th day and night from beyond the door, cries of pain are heard. And the final destination has become real, though not a blessed beginning. Interesting. So, This is interesting in the way that it contradicts Claudia. They're here to witness the beginning, the birth of paradise unspoiled by mankind. And this, instead...
So, no Final Destination version of the stage?
No items. Dog only. Not a blessed
Book
beginning.
of Memories might as well have Mary's achingly poignant letter on one page, and vote for Pedro on the opposite. Can you imagine the kind of mental whiplash that would invoke they? Who'd be dumb enough to put that in a game? Lucky Bun Buns.
Who would even do that? That would be ridiculous. Piling up the 300th day and night from beyond the door, cries of pain are heard. It's just a type of jewel, not really from the moon. It was inside the walnut somehow. Heather, what do you mean not from the moon? Of course it's not. Jeez, this is so good. What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching on a mountain. Sorry. No, backward.
You're still in a dream, Snake Heather.
This is a good reveal. Lunar, thank you so much for the follow, my fur and whiskers. How are you?
It's our circumcised boy.
So that's a split head worm. I need to talk about those.
What? The shopping
Oh,
mall
Lottie,
just like
that's a
before.
peanuts.
Am I back?
The boy worm has one set of flaps and the girl worm has two.
It's piss easy, boss. I am playing on easy difficulty, don't worry about it. Okay. Couple things going on here. First of all, split head worm, definitely a representation of a circumcised penis, representing Heather's trauma over her circumcision.
Look, you try surviving 8 shots to the dick.
True. Okay, not really. Okay. So, Splithead Worm is interesting to me because it shares some similarities with a couple of bosses in Silent Hill 1. The first boss that you come across in SH1 is the creature in the boiler room in the school, which has a similar type of face to this thing. It splits in half the same way, and it has a similar weakness where you want to be shooting into its flaps at its big mouth, right? But it's also a little bit similar to one of the bosses that you wind up fighting in the mall in Silent Hill 2, or in Silent Hill 1. When you fall down into a dark basement area of the mall and fight a little worm that like goes in and out of the ground instead of like holes in the wall, right? So it's a little bit of a combination of these different bosses from Silent Hill 1. One of the things that I really like about Silent Hill 3 is that I feel like it's taking the opportunity to explore some of the areas that we didn't get to go through in Silent Hill 1. Silent Hill 1 has a couple of areas that are fully fleshed out, right? Like the hospital. I feel like the sewers are pretty well fleshed out. A lot of the town itself, the elementary school, of course. Like a lot of these areas get a lot of time and detail to them, but there's a couple of environments that you just sort of run through a little bit, and the mall is one of them, where there's just kind of a room, you go up an escalator, there's a little bit of a store, and then you fall down a pit, and fight the worm, and then you're out of there, you know? The sewers don't get as much play as some of the other levels, but I feel like they've got a lot. And there's also like the amusement park, which you run through at the end of the game, but it's mostly just like grates in a big empty space with some of the amusement park rides sort of floating in the void. And I feel like Silent Hill 3 wants to take the opportunity to flesh some of those out more, to revisit some of those areas that we didn't really get to do in Silent Hill 1. The mall in SH1 isn't really that much of a location. In Silent Hill 3, it's the first place you like go on a much bigger scale. Same with the amusement park. We've already seen some of that in the prologue for this game, but we're going to see more of it later. That's a totally fleshed out area now. And we're also going to revisit the sewers again. Yay. But yeah, I think that's something that's going on in this game. I talked a bit about like what the environments in Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 2 mean to the overall like story of the game. And I think that's kind of what's going on in this one. What video game is complete without a sewer level? What would a platformer game be like without platforms? Yep. Oh no. I just wanted to reference Bubsy, okay? Allie's ice cream. Ooh. Yo, I love Happy Burger. I forgot you could go in here.
Lucky Bun now, Lucky Bun loading Lucky Bun buns.
Loading up them buns. Paper, thank you for 9 months. My goodness. Welcome back to the Court of Hearts, Your Majesty. When do we get to Minmo? Pretty soon, actually. Possibly next stream, though. It's a little hard to play these games for too long. Because, Ah, girl, my goodness.
Oh hey right, Prime Gaming.
Thank you for the Prime sub, oh my goodness. Welcome back to the Court of Hearts, Your Majesty. It's hard to do these Bunalysis streams for too long. Because they can be a little bit tiring. Like I've got a lot to talk about, but I also have to remember all of the things that I want to discuss. And if I feel like I'm running out of stuff to say, I start playing parts of the game kind of quietly. And then afterwards, I go, wait a minute. When I was playing that section quietly, isn't there something I should have been talking about? And then I think back at it and I'm like, oh no, I didn't talk about things. I missed stuff. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but like, it happens. It's clearly a big burger chain, but it's all rough wooden tables, chairs, and floors. Yeah, it's got a weird aesthetic to it. Yeah, I want to make sure I'm covering everything. So I think that now that we're done with the mall, I'm going to give it a bit of a break before we get to the subway. And I'm going to find somebody to raid to.
Onyo. Bun will get a bad grade in Ludo narrative review. Something that is both sensible to fear and impossible to achieve.
Exactly. You get it. You get it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, though. This has been a blast. I love this game so much. I love talking about it. I love hearing your thoughts about it. And I can't wait to do some more. Gosh.